guys. I don't know why I keep saying evening all the time. But anyway, this is the completion, the second part of the two-parter. Woo! Now, I thought I'd give it 2 weeks instead of one. I know I meant to only give it one, but there's been a few things going on. An alcoholic friend has fallen off the wagon, and yes, things have gone a little bit... It's ironic that I said an alcoholic friend has fallen off the wagon just as I open up a beer, but yeah. Basically, the completion is, I'm not going to bore you. I'm not going to go through and read absolutely everything I posted. If you want to go and have a look, it's UK Police Online, and hold on a minute, I've gone to completely the wrong part of this, as always. And the forum is Police Service Legal Corner in the Eyes of the Law, UK excluding Scotland. And the title is Private Land, Alcohol, Cars and Drunk in Charge Rules. And there you go. So if you want to go and read it, you can, or whatever. I've had some responses. Obviously you got the standard response a couple of times, and that is if you're on private land and the public don't have access to it. Very key point there. It's something I do know, having come from an agricultural background. If you're on private land, okay, say you've got a field, access to a field, whatever. If it has a footpath running through it, the public have access. Okay, so it doesn't count. Private land where you can get away with having a swally and what have you with a car, that's a case of the public do not have access. It's got to be a secured location where it would be trespass if somebody else was there, so there you go. But anyway, it's the standard stuff. It's a case of... I've also had the disclaimer. You know, this is an open forum, a public forum, so not everybody's going to be a police officer, not everyone's going to be within the law, not everyone's going to know exactly what's going on, so I've had that part. But I've had the standard responses, and fortunately, keeping it open an extra week, I had another response. And this was posted on Saturday, and today is Monday. And it was... Now I'm gonna read this one. I haven't actually clicked on the legislation yet. I'll just give that a bit of a click. Hold on 1 second. I'll let that load. Right. Now I'll read this one. This is actually a very good response. This is exactly what I was looking for. Whilst the common drink driving offences do not apply to vehicles being driven on private land to which the public do not have access, as posted above, bear in mind the old offence of wanton and furious driving under S35 Offences Against the Person Act 1861. It's used occasionally for private land driving offences if someone gets hurt. Now, that to me, that little bit there, he's obviously put a link in, so I've clicked on the link and got that up. But that right there makes this, the UK Police Online thing, a very useful tool. So my personal experience, you know, the completion of this, is it going to be any good? I haven't been had a go at. I haven't had people dropping out the woodwork going, oh, drinking and driving. Even though I've read the title of it, Private Land, Alcohol, Cars, Drunk in Charge. So, you know, I did put a very kind of drunk in charge, alcohol, cars, you know, in the heading. So if anyone was going to drop out the woodwork and have a go, they would have done. And, you know, I got linked into some legislation that I'm going to find very useful. So yes, UK Police Online is a good tool as far as I'm concerned. Obviously, before I go any further with certain elements of what I'm planning, I'm going to have to have a chat with the solicitors, because I do need to know where I stand, because some of the things I'm planning, if I get it wrong in relation to, I think it's going to be perfectly fine to post, I could end up in a lot of trouble. But that's a ways down at the moment. That's a fair while in the future. But anyway, there you go. That's the completion of the two-parter. Pretty simple, really. I mean, nothing major. But yes, that's that. It's a very useful tool. The police community forum is a good place to go if you've got questions to ask or you want to start a chat about something random. It's quite good. You don't get had a go at. You don't get yelled at. I mean, I've looked at some other threads, and if you get a bit too standoffish, then yeah, some people will start turning around and having a go at you. But you're going to expect that everywhere, whether it's a thread online or whether it's in public. You know, you're with your mates, somebody gets a bit standoffish, it's going to kick off. But yeah, it's useful. And he's given me the link to the Offences Against a Person Act 1861. Drivers of carriages injuring persons by furious driving. It's just, because it's 1861, the way it's written is just, it's so fun. Whosoever, having the charge of any carriage or vehicle, shall by wanton or furious driving or racing, or other wilful misconduct, or by wilful neglect, do or cause to be done any bodily harm to any person whatsoever, shall be guilty of a misdemeanour, and being convicted thereof shall be liable, at the discretion of the court, to be imprisoned for any term not exceeding 2 years. I love the way that's written. I just love the way that's written. he's cool. Had a bit of a attention deficit then, didn't I? I went, ooh, shiny. But anyway, there you go. That's that. So if you do want to ask, if you want to go and have a look, it's a police community. I told you what it was. I'm not going to link it below. If you genuinely want to go and have a look, then just go and find it. Because chances are you're going to have to. I've set up an account, you see. So if I link it below, chances are whatever link I share is going to need my password. I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm not doing it. So if you want to go and have a look, you may have to set up an account. You may find it in a Google search. I don't know. But yes, it's actually very useful. Well done, the police, on that one. Well done. But anyway, last week I did create some material. And I've edited it together because I did actually do a part 2 last week, but I didn't like the way it came out. There was other things going off as well. Excuse me, sorry about that. There was other things going off as well, and I decided to wait another week. I'm glad I did, because like I said a couple of days ago, that response got posted and it's been very useful. And with most forums, you do have to wait some time before you start getting the answers that you're really looking for. People have got to become aware of it. It's not like you're advertising it everywhere. But I did do something with the Terracan. It wasn't a tour or anything. It was the... I've still got it. Right, that component part there, which is the transistor field effect. It's what's written on this box. Don't ever go at me. It's what's written on this box. Is for the fan. The Terracan had an issue, and that was that the fan only worked flat out. It would only work on its maximum setting. Everything else was knackered. And as you can imagine, it's a bit of a pain in the rear end if you want to do a quick clear and all you can do is go flat out and you start knocking it down, it stops working. So needed another transistor, or transistor field. Whatever. Me and electrics, you guys know I don't get on with the electrics, which makes this even more impressive. Now this one, this particular part there we go, as you can see, is different to the part that was sent to me. And when I pulled this out the hole, it was a different part, and I was slightly emotional, as you will see, because I edited this last week, and I'll add it on to the end of this so as you get to see it. But anyway, there we go. So I shall let that crack on, and I shall see you in the next one, whenever that may be. And do remember to like, subscribe, share about, do all of that kind of jazz. and the next one may have Simon in it. Don't know yet. We're trying to organise something, but he's got a new account that he's taking on, and so it's a bit up and down for him at the moment. So might have Simon in it, and it will be kind of more discussing what he's getting onto with his channel, because he does have his investment thing that he's doing. But anyway, thanks for watching this part. Do enjoy the short little bit with the Hyundai and me getting annoyed. But try to remember, me and electrics don't mix. And this was an electrical based repair that I got right. Anyway, cheers guys, see you later. And now on to something I have already done. It's already been shot, it's already on my phone camera and on this camera, and it's to do with the Terracan. So, see you in a second. Right, so, what's going to happen with the Terracan? When we got the car, there was an issue with it, and that was that the fan didn't work unless it was flat out. There's 4 settings on it. Well, there's about 8 settings because there's 1 setting and a half and 1 setting and a half, so there's actually 4 settings, but I think it's about 8 in total. But it would only work flat out. That was it. What's this called now? This is Hyundai Genuine Parts. So I'm going to read what it's called according to Hyundai. Transistor field effect. Me and electrical systems just don't go. So I'm just going to read this. Now that is that. And there you go. That's the old one, as you can see. Well, it looks bloody old, let's be honest. Now, it's a genuine Hyundai part. Made in Korea. One thing you might come across if ever you go and work on an older car, you try to fix something, is that the part you take out, if it's the same age as the car, well, the Terracan's 12 years old. Your one may be older. If it's the same age, which chances are this is, the part may have been redesigned. You see, the Hyundai Terracan is no longer sold in the UK, and it was only ever offered in the 2.9 diesel version. It's still manufactured for the Chinese market, and I think the Australian market still has them. So the parts are continually manufactured for new or newer vehicles. And with anything like that, component parts, maybe this is a common issue. Maybe it wears out and breaks regularly. So they redesigned it to stop it from doing it. Now, when I'm working on the car, as you will hear, I pull this out and I'm looking at it and I'm like, and that's the wrong part. Because I've got the part out of here in my hand. And just to prove that I'm not having a beer and then going to work on it, you know, there is no part in there. There is no part. Okay? I have fitted it already. This is the old one. So I take this out and I get really annoyed because when I went to pick the car up, they'd already ordered a part to replace it. And the guy came out and he said, well look, we ordered this part and I think it's for a Santa Fe because it doesn't match the part that's in your car. So I'm going to send it back and get a replacement one and then we'll send it on to you. It's very simple to fit. It's 2 screws, hold it in place. Well, you guys will see that in a minute. So it confused a mechanic down at the garage. They pulled this part out because he actually showed me the part at the time that he'd been sent. And he said this isn't the correct part, and it was that part that's in here. So obviously he got it sent back to him, and they said no, this is an upgraded part. This is for a Terracan. Oh, it's probably a universal part that will go across because of it's within the in-car fan, the climate control system. It's probably a universal part or a sensor, transistor. that they'll use in all cars. And so it confused him. So when I got it, I pulled this out, and I'm like, oh, it's the wrong part. Oh, that's annoyed me. That's made me really angry now, because they've got it wrong again. That's what I mean when you hear me say they've got it wrong again. According to the place I bought the car from, their mechanic came out, had a chat with me, showed me the part, which was the same part as was in this box, and said it was the wrong part. So of course I naturally assumed it was still the wrong part. But anyway, hope you enjoy it. I don't show you absolutely everything I'm doing because I don't have anywhere to set the camera up, because you've got to drop the glove box down to get to it. And to drop the glove box down, you just push in either side and it drops down. You can actually take out the clips, but push it in, it's easy as anything. Glove box will drop down, and then you'll basically need a Phillips head screwdriver, a couple of sockets, and you're on your way. But anyway, hope you enjoy it. Well, evening guys. I'm in the Hyundai Terracan, and the sun's blaring in my face. But this has always had an issue with the fan. It will only ever work flat out, because whatever the control unit, which is one of these things, is knackered. And so I thought I'd give it a change. You know, put a new one in, should do the job. Pretty simple really. But to make, oops, no, I'm hitting things I shouldn't hit. But to make things easier, I'm going to drop the back panel out on the glove box, because you've got to go in, drop the glove box down, and then I'm going to drop the back panel so I've got a bit more room to work. So let's have a shufty. So anyway, that plastic surround I'm going to take all the screws out of. Phillips head or socket for those ones, but Phillips head for the ones down yonder. I don't know whether that's going to pick that up, probably not. But yeah, that's not a socketable one. I've undone that one. I'm going to drop all of this surrounding down so as I can get to the offending item sitting just in there. As you can see, I've already undone it. I've already undone that one. Sorry for the camera shake, but I'm at a really funny angle trying to get this done. But anyway, I'm going to carry on, drop that down, and then I can get in there, Phillips head, and hopefully get that out and fix everything. Now, as you can see, it's all been removed, so I've got loads more room to work in. Nice and easy. As I'd expect, it's clean in here, so nobody's been buggering about with it too much. I've got to work on that, get those two out, and then that should just flick straight out, and everybody should be happy. Now, this is where I electrocute myself, because I haven't disconnected any battery, and I haven't disconnected that. Although the ignition's off, so I shouldn't electrocute myself, and the fan's off, so I should be safe. But me and electrics have never mixed, so let's get the job done, I suppose. Right, so screws have been undone. This should just lift out like lovely, and then this should just come straight out, and that's wrong. That is the wrong part. So they have yet again sent me the wrong blasted part. I'm starting to get fed up with them now. Oh, because that is the part I have been sent, which does not work. At least I don't think it's going to work. But I can always try it and see, I suppose. Unless, of course, they changed the design of it, but I don't think they have done. So that's going to annoy me. Goody bloody gumdrops. I've decided to try the part because it seems to be the correct connector and the correct shape for the slot. Everything seems to fit, and this is one of the things you'll come across with cars when you work on them. Is this part is probably an original part, and it was manufactured however many years ago. I mean, this car's 12 years old. So I'm going to see whether the fan works with this part. The connector is correct. The part itself is to do this kind of a job. And this is a really old part. So let's see whether it's worked, because the fan only ever used to work on setting 4. It never used to work on anything else. So Without further ado, let's find out. Well, hopefully you can hear the fan. That seems to be working in every setting. So if I go through the mode, well, that should be coming out of there. And it's coming out lovely jubbly. So let's see. Oh. Yep, that's working. Lovely jubbly, I'll turn that off.